Hey, I'm Captain Eddie Castle and welcome to my shop. Today we're going to get out and right, left, up, down. Okay. We're going to make some adjustments to the equipment. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Stick around because in a minute we're going to make some shavings. All you got to do, watch. It's got to be at some place around here. Really get me screwed up, which is up and down. Right, left, up. I think we got it worked out. Whew. Man, and look, if I keep looking over at you, it's because that's where you are. That's where the monitor is. So if you wonder who I'm talking to, it's like the Tonight Show. You know, you don't look straight at the audience. But this ain't the Tonight Show. Boy, some of that stuff's way antiquated. It's like car washes. When I got my first motorcycle in 1964, Christmas 1964, I bought the first bike. If you went to a high-end gas station, next to the gas station, there'd be this machine you can put a quarter in, and you get a pressure washer to wash your car, your motorbike, or whatever. Yeah, and it was a thing to do. I mean, just go over there and rinse it off and clean it up. You know, when you're young, you got to spend some time somewhere. Today, they turn them down left and right. They're replacing them with car wash guru places where you can vacuum, wash the inside, clean the outside, go through a car wash and go out and detail it. You do all the work. They get all the money. Not a bad deal if you can get it. But we're going to talk a little bit about things they get in the mail. I had a guy the other day contact me. He says, I'm doing a lot of work with spigots, grabbing on the bottom of spigots. I'm going to put a sign up here to show you something I'm talking about. He's putting a spigot on the bottom of a piece, and then he says they're breaking off. Couple of things. It could be just the wood you're working with. If that's the case, soak it a little bit with medium thin super glue, thin super glue before you attach to it. Try to tighten up the fibers a little bit. The other is maybe the recess is not the right size or doesn't match your jaws. Let's see if this sketchy little picture here can help you understand it. Right? And I don't like holding on spigots, but I like even less opening up into a socket and blowing a piece up. But you don't really have to hold them that hard if you get your work orchestrated right. Maybe you got to think about the last step before you do the first step. Another guy said, hey, what do you think about wearing gloves? Oh, I love gloves. I think gloves are great. I've got heavy gloves, I've got light gloves, I've got little brown ones you get at the Home Depot that you can throw away when they get real dirty. I'll throw them in the washing machine. I love gloves. Gloves in a lathe? I got 10. I want to keep them. I don't wear my watches, I don't wear my rings, and I don't wear a glove. Why? If it gets caught on that chuck coming around, it's moving at 3,000 RPMs, 2,000 RPMs, 1,000 RPMs, 100 RPMs. It grabs that glove and pulls on it. If it doesn't slide right off, like the commercials, your finger's coming with it, or you'll distress it. And I tell you what, most of my clients are retirement age. I don't think we can handle that distress. So back off a little bit. If you're cutting wood that's going to get too hot, maybe you're cutting it wrong. Or, you know, be careful about that protection. Hey, Wagger powder. Got that right. He sent me a note about how to make a negative rake scraper out of your regular carbide scrapers with a diamond wheel and a little jig. I got that. I got that right over there. I got the wheel, I got the jig, I got everything. Everything's right there to go. Why did I do it? Because the blades are getting newer, sharper. I don't have to do this. So, oh yeah, by the way, it's commercial time. This is brought to you by Big Guy Productions. Big Guy Productions. We do all kinds of things, and we sell all kinds of things. So if you're interested in something, go to www.eddiecastellan.com and look it up and see what we got on there. And by the way, if you're not a subscriber to this channel, please subscribe. Here's the deal. You might get that a lot from the online stuff, and you think, oh man, I don't want to, something else is going to charge me, hit my credit card. You don't give them a credit card number. You don't give them a check account number. You don't give them money or anything else like that. You just join the club, the channel. Right now, someplace down here it says subscribe. If you click on that, wherever it's at, right over here, yeah. You click on that, then it's got a bell next to it. Click on the bell too. That way you'll get notified. You'll not only be subscribed, but you're notified when we put out new videos. Okay? And I got to make it real clear. I don't receive any money for this. We got into this because of you. We'll get into this for the education feature of it. We got into this to make things better for wood turners. That's why we're here. I don't monetize. I'll get that right. We didn't learn that in school. In fact, it wasn't important in this. I don't do that to the channel. I don't force commercials in and all that, except for Big Eye Productions. Hey, you got to pay my bills. But that's the only way it is. So I don't get any money if I raise my subscriptions to 59,000 or 53,000 or 105,000 or $1.5 million. I don't get little plaques with stars and stuff. You get the information you ask for. That's what we're here for. Now we're going to talk a little bit today about Skew. We talked about it, and I got a call from a guy the other day. He said, prayed, lauds all my work and all this, and you know, it was nice. But he was saying straight up, he was scared to death of a Skew. Here's another graphic. I'll put it up and show you. The Skew is not a temperamental, but it is a tricky little son of a gun to learn to cut with. You have to be able to cut off a bevel. You need to ride a bevel to cut it. Now, in order to ride the bevel, oh boy, should I back up? Back up, okay. They make jigs. I had them made at one time. I have one around here. That you put the Skew in and you go back and forth across the blade, across the grind wheel, and you put a shape on the Skew. And you flip it over, you put it in the other socket, you go the other way. And it will just give you that nice, smooth, even grind all the way around. The only problem, and maybe that's not a problem for seasoned turners. I've got to clarify that. Seasoned turners probably don't have a problem with this at all. It's the novices who are just getting into this at 66 years old and they've been working for a trucking company their whole life, or they've been a production manager at the ice cream factory, and now they want to retire and go and do wood turning. Well, they want to make it easier to work with. Well, there's a lot of things that make it easier to work with, and there's a lot of things that just screw you up. The Skew is easy to work with if you learn how to work it. I learned from a guy named Eli Avicera. He's, I don't want to say Egyptian. He's a really, really great turner. He was a good teacher. He had some articulation problems because he was still trying to learn English. Now he's getting better. But Ellie showed me that the way to cut with this tool, go back to the picture again, is to cut on these bevels, rub on this bevel, and I want to show you this if I can on the thing. You twist your wrist, you engage that bevel or disengage that bevel. It's not a raising arm and doing all this. I've seen guys do demonstrations before, and that's how they showed you. And to me, it wasn't very fair because you and I both can't do that. And why should we? If we got an easier way to do it, it's easy to learn and it's safer. So, I have my CBN wheels, can't be nicer. I can't remember the other term for it. And I'm running my machine up at 1800 RPMs. It's 8-inch quarter cable. Got it at Lowe's. I've got an 8-inch Delta over there. I got it Home Depot. I put the CBN wheels on it. I've got two. I've got like 100 and 300. I'm going to go to 300, okay? I want to show you how this is done. Shields down. Now, so you can follow along with me. It's that hard. All I'm doing is putting a nice even grind on it. Now, to explain to you what I did, I'm going to go back to the sketch, okay? As soon as I find the remote. Just so you know, I was doing that grinding work, I had my shield on. Management came in the door, gave me the no-go, I had to stop. Why? Shit effect. I said I wouldn't work out here on the equipment unless I had my safety glasses on. She said the shield's okay, keeps big pieces from hitting you, but the safety glasses are what I really should have had on. So I got called down by management, which is a good thing because I really like it when somebody else is taking a look at things. My saying now is life comes at you at A, B, C, D. Unfortunately, since I had my brain tumor, my C doesn't always show up. So sometimes some of the careful things in the middle just don't get there. I got to be careful about playing with my grandkids and being with children and other folks, because sometimes that automatic rejection thing that you normally perfected as an adult doesn't work. I know you're not perfect, but you know what not to do. So she caught me and I put my safety glasses on. Just takes a second. All right, now we have rough ground this. Now, by the sketch, this is about 25 degrees. Don't get nervous if it's 22.5 or 27.25. 25 is just the easy number. It's on my gauge. It's right there. And I kind of know what it looks like. And it's nice. I mention that because there are machines out there that you set up that say 25 degree, put it at this. No, grind it and then take a gauge and feel it and see. My gauge is up here someplace. I'll get a close-up on that in a minute if I can. And you can see that it gets close to the 25. Well, that's what you want. You don't want it too thin to where it'll get too fragile, or too thick where it'll be too hard to work with. Now, that was a grinding. I run my thumb upside of it. You can't feel this, can you? I get a little burr on the end of this thing. All right? I'm going to take my diamond stone. This is a fairly fine grinding stone. Diamond. I'm going to lap it down. Now I did that with it looking at me, holding the stone right here. Now I'm going to check that burr is gone. That burr is going on both sides. Oh, no. Still right there on one side. So I'll put it back. Nice easy strokes right here. No big arms, no plates, no nothing. Right in front of you. As an old friend of mine used to say, in front of God and everybody, it's right here. And you check it again. When there's no burr, you probably have it as sharp as you want to get it. You can go back and play with it. You can polish it, you can hone it. You can go over to the Tormek machine and put the buff on it and all that. If you've got this sharp enough to cut, and you'll feel it, I don't mean sharp. Did this, there'd be blood on the floor, or on my pants or wherever. But it's not an expensive diamond stone. I don't like the little cards because you can't control them. But you bring it right here and put it in front of you. And you can see when you're going down the ridge, down the face, you don't remove extra metal you don't need. You leave on the metal you do need. Let me tell you how your automatic works. The automatic works is that your hand, this doesn't change. This has got a set motion. This flips over. And we take little light passes. Remember, we're not shaping this. We're sharpening it. Boy, there's a lot of guys confused about that when you talk about tools. They think sharpening means a whole lot of steel hitting the floor and a whole lot of this going away. No. When you get done and you run your thumb and your finger down the sides, it's going to slide right off to there. You know what that means? It's got a nice point. And this comes right off to there. There's no burrs, and whoa. You've got a serious cutting thing. Let's talk about that now. Okay. I have a stick chucked up here. I think it's sycamore. It's a pen blank. I drilled a hole through the middle of it, and I have it sitting on the pen mantle. I like this kind of turning because it's easy and it's fun. It doesn't take a lot of rigging and jigging and setting up, and you come away with some nice toys when it's done. I say toys. You will learn how to use your skew, your wire burner, a bead, whatever you need, and you'll learn all that on a cheap, simple piece of wood. And you'll get to be a master of the tools. And remember, this isn't a master of turning. It's a master of the tools. So, I got to put a shield on. Promise management. And y'all would rat me out if I didn't. Okay. Which is okay, because I'd rat you out too. Just cranked up the lathe. Now I'm going to take the skew, and the shield is not down. I'm going to put the skew on this piece. And I have to close in on this so you can see it. Alright, now, wow, that's the best shot I've had in a long time. Alright, I'm going to show you what happens here when I turn it on. I'm going to put that bevel in. See that? Nothing happening. Watch the face of this. Don't watch anything else. Watch the face. I turned it up, and I turned it on. You see that? I'm going to go back here again. Feel like cutting a block plane on a lathe. This is very smooth. Smooth a little bit. I cut this out about 2 weeks ago. I can cut the down corner. You're getting these little curlicues off. That's what you're looking for. To find little curlicues, that's what you need. I can flip around. I go left-handed to do this. And I can straighten up the top half. Again, don't raise the arm, twist wrist. When you twist the wrist, you engage the cutter. It's rather simple to use, but it takes a little bit of practice. Let's talk about that. It is all about practice. So I'm going to give you some assignments. I like that. I've been able to do that in my life. I'm going to give you some assignments. Your assignment is chuck up a piece of wood in your chuck, or on your lathe, between centers, between points, however you want it. Just a piece of wood. It's not important what kind of wood it is. Don't get a piece of pallet and think that's going to work. Let's go a little bit better than that. Nice pallet, okay? We're going to put it between centers. Then we're going to take our skew, sharpen it right, like I showed you on the sketches. And then we're going to have this thing honed out to where it's perfectly sharp and cutting. The beauty is now I don't have to go back to that grinding wheel for days, maybe weeks. I'll take my diamond stone and lap it out and touch up that edge. I'm not going to do any other harm to that edge. A couple of weeks ago I hit a drill bit. Had to go back to the grinder and take that off because it really put a nasty burr on it. But you can do this on a CBN wheel. You can do this on a carbide wheel or Corbin wheel, stone wheel. You can do this on a Delta belt sander or whatever the blue one is. You do it on a sander, do it with the belt running that way. Don't flip the sander over and have the belt coming this way. You want to pull these goods off. A little bit different from the stone and the CBN. They can cut going down and they won't catch and pull it up. If you do it with a belt and the belt's got a slight dip in it, it's going to grab that belt and not period, take the paper. Okay. So we get this thing to the right angle, and then when you just touch it up, and touching up is much better than grinding on your tools. When you grind on your wheels, you throw them on the floor. When you touch them up, you're just making them sharp. Now, practice. So we started talking about this. Boy, I get sidetracked sometimes. Chuck up a piece of wood and go to your lathe and play with this. Don't play with how you want to make a pen. Don't play with how you make a bottle stopper. Don't play how you make a bowl. Yes, you can do a bowl with the Skew. You can, anything. They're all cut. They're all cut within reason, with control, and they all do detail work nicely. Beads and preps for cobes and stuff. All been done with a Skew. It's really nice. Here I am. I sell more carbide cutters than probably anybody in the world right now, and we got the best deals on carbide anywhere on the planet. And I'm sitting here telling you how to sharpen carbon tools, so you can go over here and do something on high-speed steel that you can probably do with carbide much easier. But some of you guys are saying, I want the carbide, but I don't want any good with sharpening, because sharpening is what happened when Jesus walked this earth. They made things sharp and you cut things out. I don't want to offend anybody, but that's just how it went. If it was sharp, you were ready. Learn how to sharpen a tool and keep it sharp. If it shows the slightest bit of wear, touch it up. Take a second. It's only a second to touch it up. Don't go back to the grinder every time. Please don't go back to the grinder every time. Now, once you got it chucked up and you're fine-tuning it out, you will learn that the twist of the wrist, and you see the twist of the wrist will turn it on and turn it off. I don't have to raise my arm, push it out, go down, bam, raise my right foot off the floor 2 inches. I don't have to do any of that. All I have to do is twist the wrist. Look how few muscles are moved. How old are you? I'm 69. I don't move any more muscles than I have to. And my doctor says I don't move all those muscles. So, that's all it takes. Twist the wrist to turn it on and make that slice. I learned that from Ellie. The problem with, I'm going to go back to the board again, okay, is if you grind it with a stone like this, and you'll see what I'm talking about, you end up with a hollow spot right here, not a bevel. You have a small bevel, it's at the end. You know, there are some turners out there that can turn with that, but I can do a bowl with a spoon. So it ain't what you're turning, it's how you're turning it. So, well, I really can't put those together, can I? All right. Here's the deal. If you have the bevel, you can just roll it around and control the cut. If you don't, you can't. All right. Do we have to get any simpler than that? I think that was it. That was like the yes and no thing. All right. I'm Captain Eddie Castle, and I appreciate you joining me in the shop this week. I'm going to go back and make a pen out of that. Then I can give it to management, and I'll be forgiven a little bit for the no glasses. But she did catch me. Don't get caught. Get out in your shop and start making shavings. Remote. Who's got the remote? I got to get one of those wind-up things.